I mentioned earlier in this course how Windows networks are the majority types of networks that are infected with ransomware currently. We are now seeing more and more non-Windows environments being victim of ransomware. However, there are some key things you can do if you're responsible for administrating a Windows network. First of all, you can look at disabling the Windows scripting host. Windows Scripting Host is a really useful tool for helping you to script or automate many Windows functions. However, malware authors have also utilized and exploited Windows Scripting Host, so if you don't need it, you should really consider disabling it. Many ransomware instances look to run from the current app data and local app data folders. You should look at the variables of where these folders are located and ensure that you prevent execution of applications from these locations. Malware authors love when your users run with administrator privilege on their local PC by default. This means that any user who has downloaded malware, even without noticing, can run that malware as local administrator on their computer. What's even worse, if your user is a domain administrator on your network, then they have full access to your entire network. You should enable UAC control in your Windows environment. At least this will force a prompt and ensure your user has to enter their administrator privileges prior to executing the software. This will bring the malware to the user's attention and prevent the software from executing automatically. It provides a safeguard in your Windows environment. Next, a very simple and immediate change you can make to your environment is to display the full file extension on all files. By default, Windows hides file extensions for known file types, so it doesn't bother the user with displaying the file extension. However, malware authors have exploited this default setting in Windows and have done things like provide files such as malware.pdf.exe, where the user thinks it's a PDF file in this example, but in fact it's an executable. They click on the file thinking it's a PDF file, but what they're doing is running the executable and infecting their PC. Next, there is a tool available in Windows called AppLocker. AppLocker is effectively a whitelisting tool. It allows you to identify what applications that you wish to run in your environment. It takes a little bit of setting up in order to identify all the different applications, and if you really want to have a lockdown environment, I suggest you look at AppLocker. If an application is not included in the AppLocker list, it won't execute. Therefore, any malware that comes into your system will not execute unless you have it in the AppLocker listing. And finally, when you double-click files such as JavaScript files and PowerShell files and other scripting files, typically they execute in a Windows environment. I recommend that you change the default open with settings so that these applications or scripts open with Notepad instead of executing. Someone who is aware of the scripts and the danger that they present will be able to run them, but it prevents innocent users from running these unintentionally, which is exactly what the ransomware authors want to happen. These are just some tips that you can implement in your Windows environment to help protect it from a ransomware attack. Remember, we're looking to have defenses built in depth, so if one defense fails, another defense will step in to help prevent an attack.